Hi everyone, and welcome to our last English lesson of the week. So you have been working really hard this week on applying your knowledge of the possessive apostrophe and the contracted form of an apostrophe. So last week we learnt all about what those two things were, didn't we? We learnt all about what the possessive apostrophe was, and we learnt all about the contracted form. And this week you have shown you can use it by using it in your writing and then trying to have a look for where it's been used correctly and incorrectly, and you've been making suggestions as to how it could be used better next time. And you've also had a look through your own writing. You've used those skills to look at your own writing and now see what you've done well and what you might need to do better next time. So now it's time to use all of those new skills and all of those things that you have been practicing this week to redraft your alternative ending for its final piece, ready to be sent to your friends. So let's have a look. I'm going to share my screen with you and I'm going to talk you through what we're going to do. So I think if I just share the screen, you should be able to see multiple things. So today, you are going to edit and revise your writing, and that is quite a hard thing to be able to learn how to do. But we've done loads of things this week building up to it, so it should be easier for you because you've got lots of ideas already how to improve your writing. So to be able to edit and revise, you need to be able to enhance, which means to improve, so make better your writing by adding more adventurous vocabulary to make it sound more exciting for your friends to read it. You need to correct anywhere where you have used the possessive apostrophe incorrectly or have forgotten to use it. And you need to correct anywhere where you have used the contracted form of apostrophe incorrectly or you have forgotten to put it in. So that's what we're going to be learning how to do today. So first thing that's going to help you is to get your evidence map out from yesterday. If you've got that in front of you, you will have identified where you used both of those apostrophes correctly. You will have identified where you used conjunctions correctly. And you will have written yourself a next step of the things that you need to remember for today. So make sure you pause the video now and get your evidence map in front of you, ready to edit and revise. Off you go and get that for me. Okay, we are going to have a go together at editing and revising my piece of writing. Now remember, mine is done on the computer. You have handwritten yours. So you are going to be using your writing to do this, but to be able to show you, it's easier for me to do it on the computer. So let's have a look at my writing from the other day and see if we can edit and revise it together. So let's read the first bit. Now the boy was stuck on the moon. What was he to do? Up, far away in space, someone else was on a mission. Up, far away in space, someone else was on a mission. I'm pretty happy with that sentence. It's got the word mission on it. I like that one. High above the moon was an astronaut flying around in space, searching for the moon. Okay, pause the video now. Have a think. How would you improve my sentence for me? High above the moon was an astronaut flying around in space, searching for the moon. Could I add any adventurous vocabulary in there? Off you go. Right, obviously I unfortunately can't hear your suggestions, but let's see if they were any similar to what I would do. So, high above the moon, the astronaut was flying around in space, searching for the moon. I was thinking about changing the words flying around to the words orbiting. If I put this in another colour, You should be able to see what I'm doing. Let's put it in red. Change it to orbiting. So high above the moon, an astronaut was orbiting space, searching for the moon. I like that. That's a really fancy word. And orbit means to go round and round in a circle. Next bit then. Suddenly he spotted a flicker of light and flew his rocket towards the moon. I can spot straight away something that you guys have all told me to do in your wishes for me. I do not need an apostrophe there, do you? Do I? Sorry. Because it doesn't belong to anybody and it's not two words together. So I'm going to delete that straight away. I'm going to highlight that word just so that we remember that we changed it. Next bit. He couldn't believe what he saw when he got there. There was a boy with an aeroplane that appeared to be broken. Right, okay, couldn't. Straight away, you guys all identified that couldn't should have an apostrophe in, shouldn't it? So I'm going to add that in because it's could and not together make the words couldn't. He couldn't believe what he saw when he got there. There was a boy with an aeroplane that appeared to be broken. Fantastic. Right. I'm very happy with that exclamation mark as well. Okay, next sentence. The astronaut could see that the boy was feeling worried, so he asked him if he wanted to explore the moon with him. Okay, right. I like that sentence, but I wonder if I can think of a better word for the word worried. Can you pause the video, have a think? Do you know any more adventurous vocabulary words for the word worried that means similar? Off you go, have a think. Right, I wonder what you came up with. I wonder if you got the same one as me. I was going to use the word apprehensive, which means to be a little bit worried about what's going to happen if what's going to happen to him when he's stuck on the moon. So apprehensive, really good word. And I'm going to put that in red so that we know that we changed it. The astronaut could see that the boy was feeling apprehensive, so he asked him if he wanted to explore the moon with him. Good. The boy agreed and he set off on the astronaut's mission. That's okay, isn't it? That apostrophe is correct, so I don't need to change that. They walked from the rocket over to a large crater. Oh, I wonder if we could think of a more exciting word for the word large. Pause the video now and have a think. What could we come up with as a better word for the word large? Off we go. I wonder what you came up with. Maybe enormous, humongous, gigantic. I'm going to go with gigantic, I think. It makes in my head me think of a absolutely huge crater now, not just a slightly big one. So we've used the word gigantic instead. Well done. So they walked from the rocket over to a gigantic crater. The boy could smell a funny smell, but he couldn't work out what it was. What's that? I notice here, I remember from your wishes, I need an apostrophe in there, don't I? Because it's what and is shortened together to make what's. So let's highlight that to remind us that we changed it. What's that? He asked the astronaut. Wonder if we could think of another word for asked. What could we say? Pause the video now, have a think. Any other words for the word asked? I wonder what you came up with. I was thinking about he questioned. I was thinking about he questioned the astronaut. What's that? He questioned the astronaut. It's a bit more of a fancier word than using the word asked all the time, isn't it? I think it's cheese, replied the astronaut. The two of them bounded over the cheese to some tall mountains in the distance. I like that. I like the word bounded. I said I liked that word in my own adventurous vocabulary that I identified. So I like that word. That's a good one. Right, ready? On the way, they came across an alien who was picking some cheese for his lunch. Oh, I wonder if we could think of a word to describe the alien. How could we describe the alien? Can you pause the video now and think of two words that could describe how the alien looked? Off you go. Right, I wonder if you got similar to mine. Yours might be even better. So on the way, they came across I was going to say a green, scaly alien. A green, scaly alien. Now I've got more of an image in my mind of what he looked like. Who was picking some cheese for his lunch. They asked him what the best way to the mountain was. He told them that he'd never been to the mountains. Oh, straight away, I can see another one of your wishes. You told me that I didn't need an apostrophe before the mountain, for the S on mountains, because I'm just talking about lots of mountains. It is not because the mountain belonged to anybody, or because it's two words joined together to make a shorter word. But he thought if they went right at the next crater and then left after that, they'd reach the mountains. Right, last change I would like us to make. I would like us to think of a word to describe the mountains, an adventurous vocabulary word to describe the mountains. What could it be? Pause the video now and have a think. Right, I was thinking that we could use two words so we could reach the tall, mysterious mountains. Now I've got a better image in my head of what the mountains would look like. So I'm thinking that in the distance, I can see why they want to visit them now, because they're mysterious and they look really tall as well. They're big mountains. So I'm going to stop there because I hope you understand the idea now of what we're going to do. So I want you to get your first draft and you can do exactly how I have done today. So you're going to make some changes on your first draft. So you're going to change any places like we did, where we changed. Actually, these need to be in red, don't they? Because otherwise we get a bit confused about the changes that we've made. So let me just change that one and this one. So all of the words highlighted in yellow are where we changed, where we'd used an apostrophe, where I had used an apostrophe wrong. So towards was where I'd used, well, I just didn't need it there. Same with mountains, I didn't need it. And didn't have one before, and now it does. And what didn't have one before, and now it does. And then anything in red is where I've added and changed some words to make my writing sounds more exciting. So I'd like you to get your piece of writing and do exactly the same. So use a pencil or a different coloured pencil to change any words you want to make more exciting, add anything in that you want to make exciting, and most importantly, change any apostrophes that you have done wrong or you might recognise you need to add in. Good. Right, so that is your task for today. So can you please pause the video in a second and go off and do that for me? Off you go. Right, hopefully now you've made all of your changes to your writing and you've got probably a bit of an untidy piece of writing where you've made edits on there, but that's fine, because first of all, don't forget I've got copies of your writing that you sent me or your adults have sent me. So what I'd like you to do now is to redraft your piece of writing. So you're going to copy it up now onto a new piece of paper, making sure you make all of those changes that you have written down on your first draft. So by the end of this task, you should have a brand new piece of writing which has got all of your new changes and suggestions in it, and that means that your writing should now be the best that it can be. So could you please do that task for me and then come back for one last thing I'd like you to do. Okay, I'm so excited to receive these drafts, really excited. The last thing I'd like you to do today is just to think again about your reflections. So Obviously, you've now got your lovely final draft, which is great. So that is your outcome, isn't it? So I'd like you to think about your outcome, and are you now ready to send this to one of your friends, or is there anything else you think you need to do? So let me quickly share my screen with you so we can remind ourselves to reflect. So have a think. Your outcome. What have you done today, which means you're now ready for your outcome? And then as well, resilience. There's a lot of ways you could have shown resilience today in your learning, because that's quite a lot of work that you need to do. So have a think, how did you show resilience today? And remember, I'm looking for my resilience star of the week in Dragonflies. So give me some really good examples of where you've shown resilience. Really reflect on how you've done that so I can choose this week's winner. Well done. I can't wait to see and read all of these. And then myself and Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Millett, we'll read them all through over the weekend, and on Monday we will then send them out to your friends. So well done again, and have a lovely weekend, and I will speak to you all next week. Bye.